The red emergency light blinked on Dr. Alina Vasquez's console at exactly 0800 hours. She was drinking her morning coffee when the urgent message arrived from the Galactic Medical Council. Alina set down her cup and opened the transmission. The holographic face of Director Cole appeared above her desk. His blue skin looked darker than usual, which meant he was worried. "Dr. Vasquez," Director Cole said in his deep voice, "we have a serious problem. 3 different alien species have sent us reports about humans. They all say the same thing. Humans are doing things that should be impossible." Alina leaned forward in her chair. She had been the chief xenobiologist on the research ship Horizon's Edge for 5 years. In all that time, she had never seen Director Cole look so concerned. "What kind of impossible things?" Alina asked. Director Cole's image flickered as he pulled up data files. "Humans are surviving in places where they should die within hours. The depths, the resonance, and the drifters have all filed formal complaints. They want to know how humans are breaking the basic laws of biology." Elena's computer screen filled with case reports. She scrolled through them quickly, her eyes getting wider with each page. On the planet Kepler 442b, human colonists were living and working in radiation levels that would kill most aliens in minutes. The report showed humans not just surviving, but actually building cities and having children. "This can't be right," Alina said, pointing at the screen. "These radiation readings would cook any living thing." "Keep reading," Director Cole said. Grimly, Alina found the next report from Proxima 7, an ice world where temperatures dropped to minus 60 degrees Celsius. Human settlers had been there for 3 years, were farming, mining, and expanding their colonies. The residents who lived nearby were amazed. Their own people needed special heating suits just to visit the planet for a few hours. The third report came from Titan 9. It's a world with gravity 3 times stronger than Earth. Most aliens could barely walk there, even with gravity suits. Yet, humans were not only walking around freely, they were playing sports and having children who seemed even stronger than their parents. "I don't understand this," Alina said. "How are they doing it?" Director Cole's expression became more serious. "That's what we need you to find out. The other species are getting scared. They think humans might be using some kind of illegal genetic modification. Or worse, they think humans might not be natural at all." Alina stood up and walked to a large window of her lab. Outside, she could see the stars moving slowly as her ship traveled through space. Somewhere out there, humans were apparently doing impossible things. "What exactly do you want me to do?" she asked. "I want you to investigate. Take a team of alien scientists with you. Study humans in these extreme environments. Find out how they're surviving. The Council needs answers, Dr. Vasquez, if we can't. Explain this. Some species might decide that humans are too dangerous to allow in the galaxy." Alina felt a chill run down her spine. The galaxy had been peaceful for over 200 years. War between species was almost unthinkable now. Fear could change that quickly. "I'll need the best scientists available," Alina said. "One from each of the species that filed complaints." "Already arranged," Director Cole replied. "Dr. Keth from the depths will handle aquatic biology and radiation studies. His people know more about surviving in hostile environments than anyone. Tone from the resonance will analyze genetic and cellular data. The resonance can see biological patterns that others miss. Flow from the drifters will study energy systems and neural patterns." Alina nodded. It was a good team. Each species had evolved in completely different ways, so they would bring unique perspectives to the problem. "When do we start?" Alina asked. "Immediately. Your ship is already being redirected to Kepler 442b. You'll meet your team there in 3 days. Dr. Vasquez, I need you to understand something. This isn't just about satisfying scientific curiosity. Stability of our entire galactic community might depend on what you discover." The transmission ended, leaving Alina alone with her thoughts. She pulled up the case files again and began reading them more carefully. The more she read, the more confused she became. On Kepler 442b, humans were not just surviving the radiation. They seemed to be getting healthier. Medical scans showed that their immune systems were actually getting stronger. Some humans who had lived there for 2 years showed changes in their DNA that helped them process Radioactive particles, the reports from Proxima 7, were even stranger. Humans had only been on the ice world for 3 years, but they were already showing physical adaptations. Their blood carried more oxygen. Their skin had become thicker. Children born on the planet could withstand even colder temperatures than their parents. But the reports from Titan 9 were the most puzzling. High gravity should crush human bones and strain their hearts. Instead, humans there were developing stronger muscles and denser bones. Some had become so adapted that they could barely function in normal gravity anymore. Alina called up files on the 3 alien species that had complained. The depths were water dwellers who had evolved in the UHL, deep oceans of their home world. They were incredibly tough and could survive in conditions that would kill most species. But even they couldn't handle the radiation levels on Kepler-4 for 2b. The residents were silicon-based life forms who could analyze biological data with perfect accuracy. Their crystal bodies could process information faster than any computer. They said something was impossible. It usually was. The drifters were energy beings who existed as living plasma. They could survive in space without any protection and could adapt to almost any energy environment. Yet even they were baffled by human neural activity and energy patterns. If these 3 species, with all their abilities, couldn't understand how humans were surviving, then something truly unusual was happening. Alina spent the rest of the day reading every report about human colonies in extreme environments. The pattern was always the same. Humans would arrive somewhere they shouldn't be able to live. At first they would struggle, and some would die. But within months, sometimes weeks, they would adapt. Not just survive, but thrive. Other species took thousands of years to evolve new traits. Humans seemed to do it in decades, sometimes even faster. It violated everything scientists knew about biology and evolution. As Alina prepared for sleep that night, she wondered what she would find. When she met the human colonists face to face, were they really breaking the laws of nature? Or was there something about human biology that the galaxy didn't understand yet? One thing was certain. This investigation would either answer some very important questions, or it would raise even more disturbing ones. Alina just hoped she was ready for whatever truth she might discover. 3 days later, Alina's ship arrived at Kepler-4 to be. The planet looked peaceful from space, with its blue oceans and white clouds. But Alina knew that deadly radiation was pouring down on the surface every second. The star that warmed this world was unstable, sending out energy bursts that should sterilize all life. Dr. Keth was waiting for her in the ship's laboratory. The depth scientist stood 7 feet tall, with smooth blue skin that glistened like it was always wet. His large black eyes studied the data screens with intense focus. "Dr. Vasquez," Keth said in his bubbling voice, "I have been reviewing the radiation readings from the surface. These levels should kill any carbon-based life form within 6 hours, yet humans have been living here for 4 years." Alina shook hands with Keth, feeling the cool dampness of his skin. "Have you seen any humans yet?" "No, I wanted to wait for the full team." Keth pointed to another figure entering the lab. Tone arrived an hour ago. Tone was unlike anything Alina had ever seen. The resonance body was made of living crystal that reflected light in beautiful patterns. When Tone moved, soft musical notes seemed to come from within their crystalline structure. They communicated through a translation device that turned their harmonic sounds into words. "Greetings, Dr. Vasquez," Tone's translated voice said. "Have been analyzing the genetic samples that human colonists provided last month. The results are most disturbing." Before Alina could ask what they meant, the lab door opened again. Flo entered, and the temperature in the room immediately rose. By several degrees, the drifter looked like a humanoid shape made of glowing gas, contained within a special suit that let them interact with solid matter. "The neural patterns," Flo said without any greeting. Their voice sounded like wind through leaves. "Human brain activity makes no sense. It should not be able to function with such chaotic electrical activity." Lena looked around at her team. Each alien scientist seemed more confused than worried. This was not what she had expected. "Let's start with the basics," Alina said. "We need to examine living humans and see exactly what's happening to their biology. They took a shuttle down to the planet's surface. Elena put on her radiation suit, as did Keth and Tone. Flo didn't need protection since energy couldn't harm their plasma-based body. The shuttle landed at New Haven. It's the largest human settlement on Kepler 44b. Elena was shocked by what she saw. The humans walking around the colony weren't wearing any radiation protection at all. Children were playing in the streets. People were working in gardens, growing food in soil that should be poisoned with radioactive particles. "This is impossible," Keth whispered through his suit's communication system. A human woman approached them. She looked to be in her 30s, with dark hair and healthy, glowing skin. She showed no signs of radiation poisoning. "You must be the research team," the woman said with a smile. "I'm Dr. Maria Santos, the colony's medical officer. We've been expecting you." Elena stared at Dr. Santos. "Aren't you concerned about radiation exposure?" Dr. Santos laughed. "We were at first. When we arrived 4 years ago, we all got sick. Several people died in the first few months. But then something amazing happened. Our bodies started adapting." Elena's team exchanged glances. "Adapting how?" Elena asked. "Come to my medical center. I'll show you." Dr. Santos led them through the colony. Lena saw hundreds of humans going about their daily lives. Some were building new houses, others were farming. A group of teenagers was playing some kind of ball game. All of them looked perfectly healthy. The medical center was a simple building with basic equipment. Dr. Santos pulled up holographic displays showing medical scans of the colonists. "Look at this," Dr. Santos said, pointing to a DNA analysis. "This is my genetic code from when I first arrived on Kepler 44b. She switched to another display. "This is my DNA now, 4 years later." Tone moved closer to the display, their crystal body humming with interest. "The sequences have changed. This should take thousands of years of evolution." "That's not all," Dr. Santos continued. She showed them brain scans, blood tests, and cellular analysis. "Our immune systems have become incredibly strong. Our cells repair radiation damage almost instantly. Our bodies now produce proteins that actually use radioactive particles as energy sources." Elena felt dizzy. "That's not how biology works. Cells can't just change their function like that." Dr. Santos shrugged. "Tell that to our cells. They seem to have figured it out on their own." Keth studied the blood samples under a microscope. His large eyes widened with shock. "The white blood cells are unlike anything I have ever seen. They appear to be learning and adapting in real time." Elena asked Dr. Santos to gather several volunteers for more detailed testing. Over the next few hours, they ran every medical scan they could think of. The results were the same every time. Human biology was doing things that violated basic scientific principles. Flo was particularly interested in brain scans. Human neural activity increases under stress rather than decreasing. In other species, stress causes brain function to become simpler and more focused. Human brains become more complex and creative. When threatened, Tone discovered something even more disturbing in the genetic analysis. Humans have sections of DNA that appear to be dormant most of the time. But when exposed to environmental threats, these sections activate and begin producing new proteins. It's like they have genetic instructions for dealing with problems they haven't encountered yet. Tone's translated voice said with amazement. Lena examined the healing rates of small cuts on human volunteers. What should have taken days to heal was happening in hours. "Your cellular regeneration is impossibly fast," she told Dr. Santos. "We've noticed that too," Dr. Santos replied. "Our children heal even faster than adults. The kids born here on Kepler 44b can handle radiation levels that would still make the rest of us sick." Elena's team spent 3 days running tests. Every result raised more questions than it answered. Humans weren't just surviving on Kepler 44b, they were thriving in ways that should be biologically impossible. On their last day, Elena watched human children playing in what should have been a deadly radioactive wasteland. They were laughing and running around with more energy than children on safe worlds. "Hey, this changes everything we know about biology," Elena said to her team. Keth nodded his massive head. "My people pride themselves on being able to survive in harsh environments. But we do it through millions of years of slow evolution. Humans seem to do it through sheer willpower." "It's not willpower," Flo corrected. Their biology is fundamentally different from ours. They don't just adapt to their environment. They force their bodies to become whatever they need to be. Tone's crystalline form chimed softly. If humans can change this quickly, what will they become in 100 years? 1,000 years? Alina didn't have an answer, but she knew they needed to study more human colonies before they could even begin to understand what they were dealing with. The mystery of human biology was deeper and more disturbing than anyone had imagined. Elena's team spent the next 2 weeks traveling to Proxima 7, the ice world where humans had built thriving colonies in temperatures that should freeze blood solid. As their ship approached the frozen planet, Alina could see vast cities of ice and metal spread across the white landscape. "The thermal readings are wrong," Flo said, studying the sensor data. "These temperatures should make complex life impossible. Yet I'm detecting thousands of human life signs on the surface." Dr. Keth adjusted his environmental suit as they prepared to land. "My people evolved in the deepest, coldest ocean trenches. Even we would struggle to survive more than a few hours in these conditions." The shuttle touched down at Frost Harbor, the main human settlement. Alina stepped outside and immediately felt the brutal cold even through her heated suit. The air was so frigid that her breath turned to ice crystals instantly. Yet she could see humans walking around in simple winter clothing, looking comfortable and relaxed. A human man approached their shuttle. He was tall and muscular, with pale skin and bright blue eyes. Steam rose from his body in the freezing air. "Welcome to Proxima 7, the man said cheerfully. "I'm Commander Jake Wilson.
Ow!
We've been expecting you." Alina stared at him in amazement. "Aren't you cold?" Commander Wilson laughed. "It's actually a warm day for us. It's only minus 40 degrees. Last week we had a heat wave that got up to minus 20. Lena's team followed Commander Wilson through the settlement. What they saw defied every law of biology they knew. Human children were building snowmen with their bare hands. "We're working in underground greenhouses, growing food in soil that should be permanently frozen." "How long have humans been living here?" Alina asked. 3 years now," Commander Wilson replied. "The first winter was rough. We lost about 30 people to the cold. But by the second winter, something changed. Our bodies started adapting." Commander Wilson led them to the medical facility, where Dr. Lisa Chang, the colony's chief physician, was waiting. Dr. Chang was a small woman who moved with quick, efficient movements. Alina noticed that she wore only a light jacket, despite the freezing temperature. "The changes started about 18 months ago," Dr. Chang explained as she pulled up medical records. "Our metabolisms increased dramatically. Our hearts grew stronger. Our blood chemistry changed to prevent freezing." Tone studied the genetic data with intense focus. "Cellular modifications are extensive. Human blood now contains natural antifreeze proteins. This should take millions of years to evolve." "It gets stranger," Dr. Chang continued. She showed them brain scans of colonists. "Our neural pathways have rewired themselves to control body temperature. We can consciously raise or lower our internal heat." Alina examined tissue samples under a microscope. Human skin cells had developed thick layers of insulation. Fat distribution had changed to provide better heat retention. Even more amazingly, humans born on Proxima 7 showed even more extreme adaptations. "Show them the children," Commander Wilson said with pride. Dr. Chang led them to the colony school. Alina gasped when she saw human children playing outside in temperatures that would kill most aliens in minutes. The children wore light clothing and seemed completely comfortable. "The second generation is incredible," Dr. Chang said. "They can survive in temperatures 20 degrees colder than their parents. Some can even hold their breath for over an hour when swimming under the ice." Flo hovered near the children, studying their energy patterns. Their neural activities, unlike anything I have recorded, appeared to be generating heat through pure mental focus. Alina spoke with several colonists throughout the day. Each conversation revealed more impossible adaptations. Humans were not just surviving the cold, they were changing their fundamental biology to master it. But Alina noticed something else that disturbed her even more. The humans weren't just adapting individually. They were sharing their adaptations with each other. "How do new arrivals survive?" Alina asked Dr. Chang. "That's the really interesting part," Dr. Chang replied. New colonists still struggle with the cold at first. But the adapted humans teach them mental techniques for controlling body temperature. Within weeks, the newcomers start showing the same biological changes. Keth examined this phenomenon closely. This should not be possible. Biological adaptations cannot be taught. They must be inherited through genetics. Not with humans, apparently, Dr. Chang said. We think their brains can somehow trigger genetic changes through conscious effort and training. Elena's team spent days studying human adaptation techniques. What they discovered challenged everything they thought they knew about evolution. Humans weren't just evolving randomly. They were directing their own evolution through willpower and shared knowledge. Look at this data, Tone said, displaying holographic genetic charts. Humans who practice the temperature control techniques show specific genetic activations within days. Their DNA is responding to conscious mental effort. Elena studied historical records of the colony. The pattern was clear. When humans faced a new challenge, they didn't just adapt biologically. They developed cultural and technological solutions, then somehow made those solutions part of their biology. The Iceworld colonists had created new building techniques, new farming methods, and new ways of generating heat. But more than that, their bodies had changed to support these innovations. They had evolved opposable thumbs that worked better in extreme cold. Their eyes had adapted to see better in the planet's dim light. Alina interviewed Commander Wilson about the colony's future plans. What he told her was deeply unsettling. We're planning to expand to the southern continent, Commander Wilson said. The temperatures there dropped to -70 degrees. No human has ever survived that level of cold. That sounds incredibly dangerous, Alina said. Commander Wilson shrugged. Everything we've done here was supposed to be impossible. We figure if we can adapt to -40, we can eventually adapt to -70. It just takes time and practice, Alina realized that humans weren't just breaking biological laws. They were treating those laws as suggestions rather than absolute limits. They approached impossible challenges with the assumption that their bodies would find a way to adapt. Flo made a disturbing observation during their final day on Proxima 7. Human reproduction patterns have changed as well. Couples are having children faster than normal. The population growth rate here is 3 times higher than on normal human worlds. Alina examined birth records and found that Flo was correct. Human families on extreme worlds were having more children, and those children were growing up faster and stronger than children on safe planets. It's like their bodies know they need more people to survive, Alina said to her team. Keth nodded slowly. Most species reduce reproduction when facing environmental stress. Humans seem to increase it. They are treating survival challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to avoid. As their shuttle prepared to leave Proxima 7, Alina watched human workers breaking ground for a new settlement even further north, where temperatures would be even more deadly. They worked with tools that should shatter in the cold, building structures that should collapse under ice storms. Alina realized that studying human colonies wasn't just revealing biological anomalies, it was showing her a species that refused to accept limitations of any kind. Humans didn't just survive in impossible places. They thrived there and immediately started planning to tackle even more impossible challenges. Elena's team arrived at Titan IX 3 weeks later. This planet was different from the others. The gravity here was 3 times stronger than Earth normal. Alina felt the crushing weight as soon as they landed. Even with her gravity suit, every movement was exhausting. Kay can barely walk. Keth gasped through his communication system. His strong aquatic body was struggling under the massive gravitational pull. Tone's crystal structure was creaking under the pressure. My molecular bonds are being strained. This gravity level should crush carbon-based life forms instantly. As they looked out of their shuttle windows, they saw humans jogging past, not walking carefully or struggling with each step. It's actually jogging for exercise. Some were carrying heavy equipment as they worked on construction projects. This violates every principle of physics I know, Flo said. Their energy form was the only one not affected by the gravity. A human woman approached their shuttle. She moved with fluid grace despite the crushing gravity. Alina estimated the woman weighed over 400 pounds in this environment, yet She walked like she was on a normal world. "Dr. Vasquez," the woman called out. "I'm Captain Amy Rodriguez, Colony Administrator. Welcome to Titan 9. Alina struggled to stand up even with her gravity suit's assistance. "How are you moving so easily?" Captain Rodriguez smiled. "Practice. We've been here for 18 months now. The first few weeks were brutal. We could barely crawl, but humans adapt quickly." Alina's team followed Captain Rodriguez through the colony, though they had to stop frequently to rest. Alina watched in amazement as human workers lifted massive steel beams that should require heavy machinery. Children were playing games that involved jumping and running as if gravity didn't affect them. "Show them the medical data," Captain Rodriguez said to Dr. Tom Harper, the colony's chief medical officer. Dr. Harper was a large man who moved with surprising speed. "Changes started within the first month," he explained as he pulled up holographic displays. Human bone density increased by 40%. Muscle mass doubled. Heart efficiency improved dramatically. Lena studied the scans in disbelief. "These people have completely rebuilt their skeletons. It should take hundreds of thousands of years of evolution." "That's not the strangest part," Dr. Harper continued. "Look at this." He showed them genetic analysis from when the colonists first arrived compared to their current DNA. Alina gasped. Entire sections of human genetic code had activated, producing proteins that had never been seen before. "These genetic sequences don't exist in normal human DNA," Tone said, their crystal body humming with confusion. "Where did they come from?" Dr. Harper shrugged. "We have no idea. It's like humans carry backup genetic instructions for dealing with problems they've never encountered." Alina examined more data. Human hearts on Titan 9 had grown larger and stronger. Their blood carried more oxygen. Their bones had become denser than some metal alloys. Most amazingly, their brains had rewired to control these changes consciously. "Colonists can actually increase their bone density by thinking about it," Dr. Harper explained. "They can speed up their muscle growth through mental focus. Some can even adjust their height by a few inches when needed." Flo studied the neural patterns of several colonists. Human brain activity under high gravity becomes more organized and efficient. Most species would experience cognitive decline. Humans are becoming smarter. Alina spent days interviewing colonists. Each conversation revealed more impossible adaptations. Humans weren't just surviving the crushing gravity they were using. It too becomes stronger than they had ever been before. But Alina noticed something that disturbed her even more than the physical changes. The way humans thought about challenges was completely different from other species. "Tell me about your plans." "For expansion?" Alina asked Captain Rodriguez. "We're preparing to establish settlements on Titan 9's 3 moons," Captain Rodriguez replied. "Each moon has different gravity levels. One has gravity 5 times Earth normal. Another has almost no gravity at all." Alina stared at her. 5 times Earth gravity? That would be impossible, even for you." Captain Rodriguez grinned. "That's what we thought about 3 times gravity 18 months ago. But humans figure things out. We always do." Lena realized that humans didn't see environmental challenges as obstacles to overcome. They saw them as opportunities to become something better. Other species evolved to fit their environment perfectly, then stopped changing. Humans seem to evolve continuously, always reaching for the next impossible goal. Keth made a breakthrough discovery while studying human cellular structure. Their cells contain organelles that don't exist in any other known species. These structures appear to rewrite DNA in real time based on environmental needs. "That's impossible," Alina said. "DNA doesn't work that way." "Human DNA, apparently, does," Keth replied. "They're not following the same biological rules as the rest of us." Tone discovered something even more disturbing in the genetic data. Humans carry genetic instructions for environmental conditions that don't exist anywhere. In the known galaxy, they have backup adaptations for worlds with different atmospheric compositions, different radiation types, different gravity fields. Alina studied these findings carefully. It's like they're prepared for anything the universe can throw at them. What? "Just prepared," Flo corrected. "They're designed to seek out challenges. Human psychology drives them to find the most difficult environments possible and then adapt to them." Elena's team analyzed historical records from Earth. What they found changed everything they thought they knew about human evolution. Earth's history was filled with catastrophic events that should have wiped out all life multiple times. Ages, asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions, mass extinctions. Most species would go extinct after one or two of these events, Elena said, studying the data. Earth experienced dozens of them. Each time, humans didn't just survive, they became more adaptable. Keth pointed to evolutionary data from Earth's past. Look at this pattern. Every time humans faced a crisis, they developed new survival strategies. Not just biological adaptations, but cultural and technological ones. Elena realized that humans hadn't evolved like other species. While aliens developed specialized traits for specific environments, humans had evolved the ability to evolve. Quickly, they were adaptation specialists. Other species evolved to become perfect for one type of world, Elena said to her team. Humans evolved to be imperfect for every world, but capable of becoming perfect for any world they choose. Flo made the most disturbing observation of all. Human reproduction accelerates under stress, but not randomly. They produce offspring with enhanced adaptive capabilities. Each generation becomes more capable of rapid evolution than the last. Elena looked out at the human colonists working under crushing gravity that should have killed them months ago. They weren't just surviving impossible conditions, were preparing to tackle even more impossible challenges. They're not violating biological laws, Elena said quietly. They're operating under completely different biological principles than every other species in the galaxy. The implications were staggering. While other species had reached evolutionary endpoints, humans were still evolving at an accelerating pace. They weren't just adapted to survive in the universe. They were adapted to change the universe to suit their needs. Elena stood before the Galactic Medical Council 3 months after beginning her investigation. The massive chamber was filled with representatives from hundreds of species. Director Cole sat in the center, his blue skin darker than ever with worry. The air hummed with nervous energy as thousands of alien minds waited for answers. Honored members of the council, Elena began, her voice carrying across the silent chamber. My team and I have completed our investigation into human biological anomalies. What we discovered will change how we understand life itself. Murmur rippled through the assembled aliens. Elena activated the holographic display, showing images from the 3 worlds they had visited. We found humans thriving in radiation that should kill them in hours. We found them comfortable in temperatures that should freeze their blood. We found them dancing under gravity that should crush their bones. Elena paused as the images showed. Human colonists going about their daily lives in impossible conditions. The question we were asked to answer was simple. How are humans violating the laws of biology? Elena looked around the chamber. The answer is that they are not violating these laws. They are proving that our understanding of biology is incomplete. Director? Cole leaned forward. Explain. Elena gestured to her team. Keth, Tone, and Flo took their positions around the display. Every species in this galaxy evolved through specialization. We developed perfect adaptations for specific environments. Humans chose a different path entirely. Keth stepped forward, his large form commanding attention. My people mastered the deep oceans through millions of years of careful evolution. We became perfect for that environment. Humans master any environment in decades or less. Tones crystal. Body chimed as they spoke. Human DNA contains what we thought was junk genetic material. It is actually a library of adaptation protocols. They carry genetic instructions for surviving conditions that do not exist anywhere in known space. Flo's energy form pulsed with each word. Human neural activity increases under stress, then decreases. They become more intelligent when threatened. Their psychology drives them to seek out impossible challenges. Lena continued the explanation. Humans did not evolve to be the strongest, fastest, or smartest species. They evolved to be the most adaptable. Their homeworld experienced constant catastrophic changes. Instead of developing specialized traits, they developed the ability to develop any trait they needed. The chamber erupted in concerned whispers. Many species looked frightened by what they were hearing. But how is this possible? called out a representative from the Crystalline Collective. Evolution requires millions of years. Alina smiled. That is where human biology becomes truly unique. They do not just evolve through genetic change. They evolve through cultural and technological adaptation, then somehow make those adaptations biological. She showed recordings from the colonies. On Proxima 7, humans developed mental techniques for controlling body temperature. Within weeks, their bodies began producing the biological changes needed to support these techniques. On Titan 9, humans learned to move efficiently under high gravity. Their bones and muscles changed to match their learned behaviors. A gaseous entity from the nebula world spoke up. This suggests that human consciousness can directly alter their genetic structure. Exactly, Elena replied. Humans do not wait for evolution to solve their problems. They solve the problems themselves, then force their biology to catch up. Tone displayed genetic analysis on the main screen. Human reproduction accelerates under environmental stress. But unlike other species, they do not produce offspring adapted to current conditions. They produce offspring with enhanced adaptive capabilities. Each generation of humans becomes more capable of rapid evolution than the previous generation, Flo added. They are not just adapting to their environment, they're adapting their ability to adapt. Alina watched as the implications sank in throughout the chamber. Other species reach evolutionary endpoints and stop changing. Humans appear incapable of stopping. They treat every solved problem as preparation for a bigger challenge. Director Cole's voice was quiet but carried clearly. What does this mean for galactic civilization? Lena had expected this question. It means that humans are not better than other species. They are fundamentally different. While we achieve stability and perfection within our biological niches, humans chose instability and constant change. She showed images of human children playing in deadly environments. Human offspring are born completely helpless and require years of care. This should lead to extinction. Instead, it forces humans to develop complex social structures and knowledge-sharing systems. They pass survival strategies through learning rather than genetics, Keth explained. This allows them to adapt faster than biological evolution should. Permit? Alina pulled up data from Earth's history. Humans survived multiple mass extinction events that wiped out millions of other species. Catastrophe made them more adaptable, not less. A representative from the ancient core spoke nervously. Are humans a threat to other species? Alina considered her answer carefully. Humans are not aggressive toward other species, but they are aggressive toward limitations themselves. They see every impossible challenge as something to overcome. She showed footage of human colonies expanding to even more dangerous worlds. While we were investigating them, humans established new settlements on worlds with acid rain, worlds with no atmosphere, and worlds where the surface temperature exceeds the melting point of lead. Flo's energy form flickered with something. Like admiration, they do not ask if something is possible. They assume it is possible and figure out how to make it work. Alina reached her final conclusion. Humans are not violating biology. They are demonstrating an entirely different biological strategy. Instead of evolving to fit the universe, they evolved to make the universe fit them. The chamber fell silent as the full meaning became clear. Alina continued her explanation. Every other species in this galaxy accepted the limitations of physics, chemistry, and biology. Humans treat these as challenges to overcome through creativity and determination. Tone's crystal structure resonated with a sound like distant bells. If humans can adapt to any environment and pass those adaptations to their offspring through culture rather than genetics, what will they become in 1,000 years? Alina looked around the chamber at hundreds of alien faces showing various expressions of amazement, fear, and wonder. That is the question that should concern us all. Humans are not just another species joining galactic civilization. They are a force of constant change in a galaxy that has been stable for millions of years. Director Cole stood up slowly. What is your recommendation, Dr. Vasquez? Lena had thought about this moment throughout her journey back to the council. My recommendation is that we stop trying to understand why human biology is wrong. Instead, we should ask ourselves whether our own biological limitations are choices rather than absolute laws. She gestured to her alien team members. During our investigation, some of our own researchers began experimenting with human adaptation techniques. They achieved biological changes that should have been impossible for their species. The chamber erupted in shocked discussions. Lena raised her voice to be heard over the noise. Humans are not breaking the rules of biology. They are showing us that we have been following only some of the rules while ignoring others. The question is not, what is wrong with human biology? The question is, what possibilities have we been missing in our own?